You there? Are you with me?
Aha, there you are. How you
Hey,
doing?
there. I'm pretty fine.
Cool. Where are
One
you?
week from, I'm in Lower Saxony, actually in the middle of nowhere.
Uh-huh.
And my little girl ordered me to have a camping trip to Lower Saxony to a friend of us. And yeah, with camping, with campfire, with
Cool. What
marshmallows and something like that. And it's pretty cool.
what city? Are you by any castles?
No, it's pretty close to Salzwedel in the
Okay.
direction of um Volkswagen City, I would like to say. Wolfsburg,
Are
in the
you in the
direction of
mountains?
No.
Okay.
And,
That's Wolfsburg is by the Harz Mountains, aren't, isn't it?
yes, it is, but we are pretty close to it. And a
Mm.
lot of Sherwood and Indian summer, and it's lovely. And I really love the Indian summer. And to
Yeah,
give
we're
my
having an
knowledge about.
Indian summer in Germany. You have to explain that for our international listeners. What the hell is an Indian summer in
Well, it's
Germany?
an Indian summer in Germany is actually the same like for you guys in America, somewhere in Colorado or in Maine or something. The trees are changing their leaves and all the colors, and it's lovely. It's beautiful. We
Cool.
had, I think, 20 degrees or something on Monday,
Hmm.
with sunshine and the brightest colors and trees you can actually imagine. It's really, really, really lovely.
Hmm.
And
20 degrees
the le-
Celsius. So what is that? Not 80, 70 Fahrenheit, I think.
I
Something
think
like that.
I think so.
Are you down there for a seminar?
I've been for a seminar in the direction of Ingolstadt last weekend with a co-instructor, and that was a ride because that's actually 800 kilometers per direction. So we
Mm.
made 1,600 kilometers in actually 3 days, with a seminar in between with medical training for remote areas,
Hmm.
and for a very, very special customer. And it was really, really cool. It was really lovely. And my co-instructor had a lot of work to do that we don't came back with the wrong car, because yeah, it was with Mercedes-Benz G-Class and modified with higher cars and 4x4 cars and Dodge pickups, and seriously, really, really seriously Dodge pickups, and on a
Cool.
special area for four-wheel driving and something. And that was really cool with 22 degrees
Mm.
in Bavaria, and that was pretty cool. Nice food,
Mm.
really, really cool people, and that was really amazing.
Awesome. And you were
And
doing
the
a seminar for what?
medical training for remote areas, because they are offering, or our customer offers, special trips with four-wheel driven cars or
Hmm.
pickups or something like that. Land Rover Defender, Dodge pickups, as I said, Mercedes-Benz G-Class, something like that. And they are driving those cars in areas without a regular infrastructure like emergency medical service or firefighters and or someone like that.
Okay. Cool.
And that's where we came in,
Hmm.
where we step in with everything that we have. And yeah, and that's it.
Cool. And
So
you started this before you started publishing books, right?
yeah, that's it.
And then your books,
And
what did you start first, the books or your YouTube channel? Um,
um, first of all, I do the medical stuff since I can walk properly because I was the youngest of five, and my parents were full-time working,
Hmm.
and somebody of us were bleeding anyway, anytime, anyway, and in cases in case it is in cases of it was not arterial, or there were some ankles where actually no ankle have to be. We handled that by ourselves. My mother was a primary nurse, a registered primary nurse here in Germany. And the first, after correctly walking with my nose to the front, was, let's say, first aid.
Hmm.
Because I was the only one of those four children who could see maybe a little bit more on blood. That doesn't scare me anyway.
Yeah.
And and sooner or later that became a profession, a passion, something like that. And now it's kind of a purpose
Cool.
to help people to help people,
Hmm.
as I would like to say.
Right on.
And since 1995, I do special kind of first aid training for police officers and for friends from the military part, because 1995 were the first time where the German army and the police officers were sent to the Kosovo conflict.
Mm.
And some of those friends had a training, a refresher of basic first aid, and that was a piece of crap. That was incredible.
Hmm.
With scenarios, they were so unrealistic that it's actually, it would be funny. It wouldn't be if it wouldn't be that scary.
Yeah.
And I kicked some of my colleagues, some doctors in anesthesia or surgeons from their chair, and I said, "Come on, guys, we have to do something, and we have to speed up. Hurry up! Let's put the heads together and move it. Go!" And in that situation, it might be possible that I became a little bit the medical drill sergeant Gunnery Hartman from yeah.
Yeah. I'd like
And
to hear you bitching somebody out in German, like the drill sergeant in German, but
yeah, and
because they have a special
sometimes
language, and it's like, what was that movie, Platoon or something? Is it
yeah,
the
yeah,
same
yeah,
in
yeah,
German?
yeah.
Cool.
That's it. And 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 I started my first training for friends actually in a non-official way on a weekend, some hours somewhere in the woods, and it was how to stop a critical bleeding with what you have on hand.
Hmm.
And that's what the audience called today tactical medicine or tactical first aid or something. And from my point of view, it's not actually tactical, because the basic first aid is actually from the same kindergarten as the modern tactical.
Hmm.
Um,
So
it's actually a consequence. Yeah,
you've been doing this since 1995?
yeah,
Wow.
frequently,
Yeah, I
once,
remember.
twice, sometimes 4 times a year or something, and that was actually a little bit for friends, just for friends. And 3.5 years ago, my wife came from a journey from from her main work, and she is construction engineer,
Hmm.
and they produce it. What the hell? And the
Almost
and the
fell.
company, yeah, and the company produces de-ashes devices for big power plants worldwide. So in region without any regular infrastructure. And she was a project engineer, and she came back from one of the deployments, and she opened the conversation at the airport in Hamburg, not with "Hello, how was your time? Did you miss me?" She opened the conversation with, "I command the following survival kit. And if your preferred one person, the mother of your loved one's girls, is coming around with a comment like that, you know pretty fast and pretty well it's not the time for discussions." So I ordered material and checked it out, checked compressed gauze, trauma bandages, and what she wanted to have in her very own, very special kind of medical survival kit. And 2 weeks after I gave her the kit, and I trained her pretty well. And the difference in the training is that I don't train my audience or my wife or anyone else until they can do something. Until you can do something, I can do with Capucina ape or something in 2 hours. That's not a really big deal. But to train people that they can't do it wrong, that needs time, and that needs practice and repetitions. Try to remember how long it took that you fixes your shoe lashes the first time, more or less properly.
And you've been doing a lot of courses. You also were doing first aid for horses.
Yep, that's it. We have 2 horses ourselves, and that was a trap of my girls. I was sitting in front of the computer and handling some stuff, some office stuff I actually hated. And they came around and, we need a training for the horses. And I said, yeah. And 2 hours later, came up with my head and said, "What?" And that was too late. I was in a trap, and I've done it, and we've done it pretty well. And now we do it frequently.
Cool.
And that's it.
Yeah, and then you finally decided to make some books.
No, that was another little different thing. Sometime in my summer holidays in Denmark, I woke up like a zombie or something with "I have to write." And to be honest, 3 cans of coffee later, 90% of my first book were done.
Yeah.
Actually completed. And my wife and my kids were so cool that they let me write the book, and I colored the paper. Now I do it a little different, but in that case it was pretty cool. It was a really good decision, and actually there was nothing what actually can stop me. And
And now you have a YouTube channel, so your books and your YouTube channel point to your courses where you make the big money. So tell us about your YouTube channel.
My YouTube channel was a kind of self-defense, because I've seen a lot of videos about prepping in Germany with German preppers, and they were, oh man, that was way too stupid for my mind. And I've been in the civil defense and something like that, firefighting, rescue, for so long time that I can't leave the field for idiots. I can't do it.
Yeah. So.
And my first video was about, it was a review of my of my EDC rucksack from Helicontext. And actually, from my point of view, nothing really special, but there was a phrase from Sean Cannell, one entrepreneur in America, and I don't remember exactly, but I think it was in the direction of you. I don't know. I really don't remember. It was something that you have to start to start. You don't have to be perfect, but you have to start. Put the finger out of the mouth and go.
So you started uploading and making videos on YouTube, and you also started publishing your books. What did you make the most money from first, your courses or your books?
I think the first were with the classes, then a little money with the first book, and it's not that really easy. It's not something where you can print money overnight. So it's a process, and that takes time anyway.
What's the name of your YouTube channel?
MediUrs.
MediUrs. Medi-Urs or just MediUrs?
No, MediUrs.
Okay, cool. So
Northern German medicine man.
And then you started noticing that some of your videos started taking off. Did you already start like optimizing with Sean Cannell's book, or what's Schmoyer's book, or was it just by chance?
That was at the at the end of last year, November, where I get the both of the books, the one from Sean Cannell, the red one, I don't remember the title exactly.
Yeah, YouTube Secrets or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And that I have the paperback and the ebook from Tim Schmoyer, 30 Days to a Better YouTube Channel, I think was it. And at the end of the day, they are actually singing exactly from the same song sheet. And but it was pretty easy to understand, especially for me as non-native speaker, and reading and understanding, mostly understanding. And that worked out pretty well. And some of their tips were new for me, and I was in the beginning of December last year where I said, okay, now I have to make a decision. And I turned around completely everything on my YouTube channel. I worked on the thumbnails, I worked on the titles, I worked on the
tags
on
or
the
keywords.
On the tags, on the keywords, on nearly everything. And so, that was the very first moment. At the end of the last year, I had 400 something subscribers, and it took me nearly 2.5 years or something. With the active channel, I have it longer, but really active, it's just 2.5 years. Or at that time, it was 2.5 years. Now we are active for 3 years now, and that was a key point on my YouTube channel, where I implemented their tips and tricks into my channel and into my routine as well.
So what are those tips and tricks? Can you tell us?
Some of those actually not a really big deal. If you use the thing up on your shoulder more or less properly, it's actually not a really big deal. But sometimes you need somebody to slam you in the face and wake up.
Yeah.
Sometimes every one of us needs a special gunnery sergeant or kind of them. And one of the tips was that you work with correct or nearly correct thumbnails, because the first view counts. It was one of the tips were to use vidIQ.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it early on, and vidIQ is actually, if you use it properly, it's kind of a weapon, because
Mm-hmm.
it gives you tips and tricks with thumbnails, with tags, with everything you
Keywords
can
and stuff.
imagine, keywords, everything, titles, and something like that, and
I've seen the
really
free
amazing.
version. Yeah, but do you have
Yeah,
the paid version? Is there a difference?
I have a paid version,
Mm-hmm. So,
not the full pro version, and I'm thinking about upgrading, because nowadays my channel is kind of going to explode or something.
cool. So your YouTube channel is like your main thing now.
More or less, yes.
Mm-hmm.
But from the YouTube channels came the requests for the classes
Mm-hmm.
for customers, and very special requests, like for the company who offered the trips with the four-wheelers
Mm-hmm.
in really, really remote areas. We have another request for the maritime part. It's pretty equal, because the ambulance take a little longer to be somewhere in the 12-mile zone. And so we work on a project about boxes, special boxes with equipment, how to stop a critical bleeding, other material, which is pretty useful and pretty needful in that case, in
Mm-hmm.
case of medical emergency or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's pretty interesting. And my co-instructors get a little nervous. Oh God, the next customer. Oh. Sometimes it's a little scary, but I would like to say, if your dreams didn't scare the shit out of you, you don't dream big enough. And
That's a good one. I like that. I like that. I'm gonna write. That's the quote. That's the quote of the blog post now in the video. Cool. If
yeah,
your dreams, I'm writing now.
yeah,
Okay. So besides, so we got the Sean Cannell book, the Tim Schmoyer book, and vidIQ. Do you use any
yeah.
more tools to optimize YouTube?
No, not really.
Okay.
Uh, I have my camera. I upgraded my camera for videos. Now I'm working with a smartphone nowadays. Nearly 60-70% of my videos I'm doing with my smartphone.
Hmm.
But I have Sony Alpha 6300, and it works pretty well. It's really nice. It fits into a pocket of my jacket, and
Hmm.
it works like hell. And
Cool. What is
it's
it? A
sometimes
Sony what?
Alpha 6300.
Okay.
And it looks tiny. Before, I had a Nikon 5600
Mm-hmm.
with a monster on optic on it, and that was, I don't know, carrying a half cow or something through the wilderness. And
Only a half a
and
cow.
that, yeah, yeah,
Cool.
and that actually doesn't make sense in any kind. And
Mm-hmm.
nowadays, the smartphone cameras and all the equipment you can get for it
Mm-hmm.
are so good that you actually,
Yeah.
to start a YouTube channel, you don't have to have a brilliant camera in
Yeah.
4K or what the hell ever.
Yeah. They're getting
First of
better and
all,
better.
yeah. First of all, you have to have an idea, and you have to have, let's say, the balls to do it.
And then
And
you put your Amazon links in the description of your YouTube videos.
correctly.
So you've
That's
got
correct.
so you got people making direct orders for your courses, and then you've got the links in the video descriptions that lead to Amazon. So you
for the material that I use the most, all the links are. I'm an Amazon partner in the Amazon Partner Program, and I use affiliate links. And the material and the links in the video description is all of material that I use the most and that I trust on, because sometimes I'm on places there is no ambulance. There will be no ambulance. There will be no. So you have to count on your equipment, on your knowledge, first of all, but on your equipment. If you run through the hills with espadrilles or something, that's stupid. And I have links for the trauma bandages, for the tourniquet I use and I love the most. And yeah, that's it.
do you have international customers? Do the links only go to Amazon.de, or do they have international links now?
No, nowadays they are actually now they are to Amazon.de. But nowadays I get more and more international contacts and international requests. There was a trauma class 2 weeks ago with 2 people from the Netherlands, and that was my very first class, what I gave completely in English language.
Oh.
And there was a medical doctor and a specialist for anesthesia with us, and he was really impressed, because one of my co-instructors and me, we split it actually in 2, and Marcus did the explanation in German and I did it in English language, and yeah, it was pretty cool. And we have booked next year for 2 sessions in the Netherlands, and MediUrs is going international.
Right on. But this is what one thing I learned on my blog is that once you start doing that, it's a real pain, because then you have to go back and change your links to the ones that go to the Amazon shop of each country. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They just improved that. I think they have international links now, but they're still kind of new, and you have to implement it on your website too. So
yeah.
All right, work on it. Cool. So what about your books? Which books have you published?
I published my first book. My first book was about psychological first aid, and with tips and tricks how to prevent a post-traumatic stress disorder. I'm in firefighting and emergency medical service for more than 30 years now, in different positions, sometimes volunteering, sometimes in a full-time job. And I've seen a lot of things I actually better haven't seen. And yeah, if it is a mass casualty or something like that. And there is an example in the book, a very personal one, because a couple of years ago we lost 2 comrades at my firefighting unit on one day. In the morning we gave CPR or supported the medical rescue by a comrade with a heart arrest. And that was frustraneous. So he actually died on the scene with 51. The day before we had a party with his son, the 30th anniversary of his son, and that was lovely, and it was pretty cool. Everybody was in a good condition, and the next time he woke up, and Yeah.
Yeah, it's too young to die.
Yeah. And at the afternoon at 15:30, yeah, let's say one of kind of a child for me, because she was the youngest employee for the volunteer rescue in Elmshorn, my youngest trainee, and she has been struggled from a boy from the youth firefighters from behind, and she was killed with 18 years, 2 weeks after her 18th anniversary.
And this was all in the same week?
That was the same day.
Poof.
The same week.
Wow.
The same week would be for beginners. That was the very same day. And that was a very moment where I had to pull a break. And I said, "Oh, settle down, guys."
Yeah. And you wrote that in your book, and
Yep.
you made the connection between PTSD, or how did that work?
There are tips and tricks actually from the military part, and tricks which are used in law enforcement here in Germany and in US and UK as well, and kind of an on-the-spot meditation. It's actually, it sounds like somebody is sitting somewhere in a funny position like a yoga priest or something, but it's actually just to concentrate yourself on what is really important in that very moment, and that's your breathing, your kind of breathing. And you can handle that, you can manage that, and it's how to manage that. There is another tip. Do you know Sun Tzu?
No, I don't know. Wing Chun?
No. Sun Tzu is
Sun Tzu, the art of war or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And some say from or some things from Sun Tzu, and to before you step into a trap or something, that you prepare yourself for critical situations in a mental way, that you sit down and go mentally through critical situations. And that's a fact that in case you have been trained like this, if you get in a situation like this that you actually have trained mentally, your brain will say, "Ha ha, I know it. Take my beer. I know how to handle it." And yeah, some tips and tricks like this. So actually, not a really big deal. And from my point of view, we actually can learn so much things from the military part, even if we civilians from time to time would shut up, listen, and learn.
And that's in your first book. What's the name of your first book?
Psychological First Aid, Tips and Tricks How to Prevent Post-Traumatic Stress Disorders. I can send you a link.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, we can put it in the show notes and in the description.
Because that was my first book, which I translated in English as well. Actually, the first time it was the book in German language, and so the second book was a kind of an emergency checklist, because here in Europe and here in Germany, more and more we get in contact with violence, with terror and something like that. And not everybody has got a really proper first aid kit, or even an individual first aid kit. And there are tips and tricks in the book how to improvise a tourniquet, a trauma bandage, how to set up an alarm call for the emergency pretty well.
Cool.
In case, some tips and tricks in case of mass casualties, because the basic first aid here in Germany has got the thing that it actually goes, or the main thing is in the basic first aid here in Germany is that you have a kit in a special norm with material that is actually useless, but it's another thing. And the ambulance is lately 15 minutes in front of your scenario. And in case of mass casualties, so everything up on more than 6 casualties, or a so-called police scenario, or kind like this. For example, a terror scenario. It will take longer, and it will take much longer. And the first on the scene won't be some guy in funny colored clothes or something. It might be a police officer with a serious gun in his hand. And they are the first. And their first point of the mission is not to give first aid. So in the first wave, the police, police special forces came into the scenario to get the bad guys. The second wave is coming not really long after the first wave, and their mission is to take care for injured people. They do triage. You know what triage is?
You mean a bandage?
No, a triage is that some with a medical background is looking on your injuries and something, and in a special, gave you a special color code, and the color code is at the end of the day leading you to the next step in the system, to maybe to the ambulance and then to the hospital. Or this is not, he has got not that critical injuries. We had a trauma bandage on. He doesn't bleed out, something like that. And that's the part of the second wave. That's police as well. There's no rescue, but the police officers in that wave have special trainings about how to handle trauma bandage, tourniquets, something like that. And they are pretty well trained.
And this is just for mass
casualties.
Mass casualties, like airplane crashes and stuff like that.
Airplane crash in Hamburg, the bus line number 5, the biggest in Europe. And somewhere around 1600, it's full with people. I think 300 people or something at the inside of the bus. So it's really huge. And if this bus has got an accident, you have a serious problem as a firefighter.
Yeah.
Because actually you're standing in front of one of your biggest nightmares.
Yeah.
And in that book, it's tips and tricks for the civilians, but for the professionals as well, that you don't trap and that you don't step in a trap, so that you stop, take a breath, recon the area, and act in a correct way.
Kind of like Sun Tzu again, huh?
That's it.
Interesting.
And
gonna read
and it
about
worked,
that.
and it worked for me since I don't know, very long.
Cool.
And yeah, that's it.
You got any more books?
Not now, but I work on it.
All right. That wasn't my other question. What's on the horizon for you?
Well, one of my main goals is to make more than, or around about 10 million people to better first responders until the end of 2022.
Cool. That gives you what? 2 years? Three.
All in all, it was, I think, 3 years or something. And I know it's a very, very, very high pointed goal. But as I said, if your dreams, if your goals don't scare the shit out of you, you don't dream big enough.
That's right.
And,
cool.
And I work on it. And 1 month and a half, I cracked the 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. And since then, there is something mind-blowing going up on my channel.
Cool.
I can't believe it, because in 1 month and a half, so until I had the 1,000 subscribers, it took maybe 3 years. And in the last 1 month and a half, I had nearly 500 subscribers.
New.
On top.
Yeah.
New.
Yeah. Cool.
So I actually don't know what the freaking hell is going on there.
Do you have a Facebook page too? Maybe you could cross-post or something.
Yeah. Actually, if the new videos are going online, I post it on Instagram and automatically on Facebook as well. So there is a cross connection anyway. And I use LinkedIn, for example, where I post it. And every Saturday morning, 8 o'clock, new videos, new tips, new tricks about gear, about first aid, about nearly everything is going online. And yeah, and it works.
So how's LinkedIn doing?
I don't know for sure, because I use it just a few months now. But I can actually, but I checked it, that I posted the videos on Facebook and Instagram before, and with a delay of a half a day or something, I posted on LinkedIn, and I don't know what, but there is something ongoing, I think.
Cool. Yeah, a lot of people.
So you can see, yeah, you can see it in a spike, that you have a spike in the
in the what do you call it, traffic, or the viewers or something?
Yeah, in the traffic, you have a spike anyway every Saturday, and if you have somewhere that you posted with a delay, you have another spike, or it's rising in any kind, and yeah, something is going on there.
Cool.
And yeah, it's pretty cool. It's
Right
pretty
on.
interesting, and that's what I said. It's going to explode right now.
Right on.
And
so what else is on the horizon for you? New books or new courses?
what else? New books. I'll work on a project. My wife and me, we bought a farm.
Ah, nice.
So it's getting more and more serious now, and it's a farm with 34,000 square meters with the possibilities of death. It's incredible.
Cool.
It's with a tool shop and a site building. It's with possibility to handle my material, because I don't know where to go with my material anyway.
Yeah.
Because it's first aid material. I'm doing emergency medical services for events. Therefore, I have to have material, and I have a little space problem right now. And
well, then you can do your classes on your farm.
That's it. And there will be 2 training areas with 400 square meters each. And the plan is that we prepare them with light, with sound, with smoke, for example, for firefighter training.
Cool.
And
yeah,
that's it.
Awesome. So where can we reach you online?
You can reach me with my email address, info@mediurs.de. You can find me on Facebook. I'm not that tiny. One of my inspirations for my channel was channel in America. It was the Skinny Medic.
Skinny Medic.
And Skinny Medic.
Okay.
And but I'm everything but skinny.
Yeah. And what's the name of your website?
MediUrs as well. MediUrs.de.
Cool. MediUrs.de. Right on. You know
That's
what?
it.
I think there might be a time limit for Facebook Lives to record.
I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I'll figure it out. But okay. So I'm gonna cut it short at our allotted time of exactly 60 minutes.
Yeah.
And thanks for coming on to the page and the video today. And we'll keep in touch, my friend.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right,
let's
kick ass.
Oh yeah.
See ya. Bye.
See you then. Bye.